And it was President Zelenskyy, if you roll the tape, who actually antagonized the vice president in front of the cameras and picked a fight with him. The American people and the entire world got to see what President Trump and his team have been dealing with behind closed doors in the negotiations with the Ukrainians. All President Trump wants is peace. And in order to negotiate peace, both sides have to come to the table.
President Zelenskyy, and I think he's probably used to dealing with American leadership that is weak. And he ran into President Trump, and who didn't back down, Vice President Vance, who didn't back down. It's impossible to have an economic partnership for someone who doesn't want to be your partners in peace. And this is one of the biggest own goals in diplomatic history.
Well, remarkable and disturbing things that Zelenskyy said. He repeatedly rejected President Trump's statement that we should pursue a ceasefire.
Right.
How could you reject a ceasefire? And you know, he kept saying Europe's doing so much more than us. Well, then what do you need us for? If he's saying Europe's so great, then why are you coming and begging and pleading to us for money and protection and guarantees? President Trump is a peacemaker. He will fight for peace.
Something very quickly that this was some kind of ambush.
Right.
That is absolutely and categorically false. We had a beautiful setting in the East Room ready for both leaders to sign that would have bound the United States and Ukraine together economically for a generation. Is that it's not clear that Zelenskyy truly wants to stop the fighting. And the vice president said enough is enough. The president said enough is enough. And I got to tell you, this was the wrong approach, wrong time in history, and definitely the wrong president to try to do this kind of thing. This is not Biden. This was Donald J. Trump.
He's been very clear. He campaigned on this. He thinks this war should have never started. He believes, and I agree, that had he been president, it never would have happened. Now here we are. He's trying to bring an end to this conflict. We've explained very clearly what our plan is here, which is we want to get the Russians to a negotiating table. We want to explore whether peace is possible. They understand this. They also understand that this agreement that was supposed to be signed today was supposed to be an agreement that binds America economically to Ukraine, which it went off the rails when he said, let me ask you a question to the vice president. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? Well, this is a serious thing. I mean, thousands of people have been killed, thousands, to come to an end. We are trying to bring it to an end. And so you start to perceive that maybe Zelenskyy doesn't want a peace deal. He says he does, but maybe he doesn't. And active open undermining of efforts to bring about peace is deeply frustrating for everyone who's been involved in communications with them leading up to today. And I think we should apologize for wasting our time for a meeting that was going to end the way it did.